What's up everyone, Darcblade here bringing you a patch information video for patch 7 on Dragon Age Inquisition. In this video I'm going to cover all the changes that BioWare have given us for this patch. Firstly, we're going to talk about the PC only changes. They've added a new feature that allows users to sheathe and unsheathe their weapons. This feature can be accessed via the key binding screen. They've fixed an issue on the PC which could result in fog looking wrong when running SLI crossfire configurations. Next, they fixed an issue which would place the AoE targeting reticule to be placed in odd locations when using the mouse look toggle feature. And lastly, for the PC only fixes, they fixed some issues which could cause flickering when alt tabbing while running the game under SLI or crossfire. Next comes the fixes or changes that are for multiple consoles or systems. They've implemented a fix for the Dragon's Bane achievement to unlock after killing any 10 high dragons. Next, for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, they've added trophies for the upcoming Jaws of Hakan DLC, as well as another fix to the Dragon's Bane trophy to unlock after killing 10 high dragons. From here on, all the changes that I will mention will be across all systems. They've added some thrones that you can use in Skyhold for players who own Dragon Age 1 or 2 or both. They've added the ability to salvage multiple items at the same time in multiplayer. This can be done in the inventory screen or when purchasing packs. I quite appreciate this change, as my bags are often filling up and it does take a while to salvage a lot of items. I probably shouldn't let them build up, but hey ho. Next, they've balanced the arcane warriors. The Spirit Blade now costs more and does less damage to barriers and guard in multiplayer. The Spirit Blade no longer applies a damage bonus in both play modes. So it looks like the Arcane Warriors have been nerfed. I'm not sure if they're still going to be as good as they were, but we'll see once this patch starts rolling out. Next, they've balanced the Templar's Wrath of Heaven's ability in the multiplayer. The stun duration of this ability is now shorter. I feel this is a shame, especially on the harder difficulties where Wrath of Heaven's was actually quite useful. Although saying that, I can see how it is quite overpowered on the lower difficulties. They fixed a couple of animals, so they will now drop their research items. In the character creation, they fixed a few beards that would not align properly with players' faces. Personally, I'm actually quite pleased with this fix, as sometimes the beards on characters looked a little bit, well, funny. Next, they fixed a few pieces of armor which incorrectly allowed Canary to equip them. This looked incorrect when worn by them. The Canary can no longer wear these items. I'm not 100% sure which items these are, as I never played the Canary in the single player, so I don't know if this is going to be a hindrance to players who like to play as Canary. Next, they fixed an incorrect message that indicated you did not have enough platinum to buy packs when you had exactly the same amount of platinum as the purchase price. This is now fixed. Next, they fixed an issue that allowed players to leave a multiplayer match and then rejoin it and transfer the earned experience to the character they joined with. This was a way to, well, essentially boost your low-level characters. This can no longer be done. They fixed an issue that could cause players to become stuck if they spoke to Cullen while doing Sarah's pranks. This is fixed and should no longer happen. They fixed an issue that could cause the dragon in the Jaws of Hakan DLC to get stuck on a perch during combat. I've never experienced this, as I haven't had access to the Jaws of Hakan DLC yet. Next, they fixed an issue that could occur when using Hell of Arrows followed by Leaping Shot. I'm not really sure what issue this caused, but I'm glad they fixed it. They fixed an issue that could trap the player on the first island in the final fight of the game. They fixed an issue where a quest that was supposed to be removed from the game would start when purchasing the Avar Heraldry. Basically, the quest would no longer start. This is now fixed. They fixed an issue where the eyelashes on the female Canary did not align with their eyelids when using the eye shape editor, pushing the slider to the far right in the character generation. This is now fixed. Again, like the beard, I'm glad they fixed this, as it's quite off-putting when you create a character and something doesn't align correctly. They fixed an issue where light conversation could break if fast travel was used while the conversation was still active. They fixed an issue where one piece of the Archdemon mosaic set would not appear on the wall in Skyhold. They fixed another issue that allowed players to destroy a door that would result in the quest for the Empire becoming blocked in certain circumstances. They fixed an issue which allowed players to get into Redcliffe before they were supposed to. I'm not sure how players did that, but hey ho. They fixed an issue which caused a couple creature research codex entries to not increment correctly. They fixed an issue that caused characters using evade abilities to visually pop to different locations in the multiplayer. I thought this was down to lag, but if there was an issue with the game that actually caused this, then I'm glad it's fixed. They fixed an issue that caused the quest Tomb of Pharrell to become blocked in certain circumstances. I've never experienced this, but again, it's a good fix. They fixed an issue that could result in the quest In Hushed Whispers to not advance if players entered Redcliffe on a galloping horse. They fixed an issue that could result in an infinite load when attempting to access the challenges screen. They fixed an issue that could result in enemies teleporting to some locations that players could not reach. They also fixed an annoying issue that could result in party switching becoming permanently disabled during looting. Another multiplayer fix is they fixed an issue that could result in players late joining into Wave 5 spawning inside the airlock in the multiplayer. They fixed an issue which resulted in the quest Wounded Chevalier being non-interactive in certain cases, which would block the plot related to him. Next, they fixed an issue which resulted in the final combat breaking between stages. I'm not 100% sure what they mean by this one. The next fix is for an issue that could result in the new host being stuck in a screen after host migration occurs. Next, they fixed an issue which could result in the wheel in the tavern becoming permanently non-interactive in Crestwood, and thus blocking you from draining the lake. This could be quite frustrating, so it's a good fix, this one. Next, they fixed an issue which was causing missing banners to not be added to the appropriate stores in Val Royale. They've also fixed an issue which would allow players to repeatedly stack the effects of Fade Touch Silk Brocade until abilities and spells were free. Next, they fixed an issue which would prevent the Inquisition banner crown from unlocking if players collected the headpiece from the Storm Coast prior to capturing the keeps. Next, they fixed an issue with the quest All New Fades for Her, which would not proceed correctly if players were mounted when the cutscene should have fired in whilst they were in the Exalted Plains. They've also fixed an issue with Fade Touch Imperial Vestment Cotton that would cause its effects to occur at a fixed rate for players. It will now correctly fire at a random rate. They've also fixed an issue, and pardon my pronunciation, with the Citadel de Cobor quest that can block the Revenant from reaching players. Another crafting fix is that they fixed Fade Touch Silk Brocade to actually apply a 15% discount instead of 150%. They've also fixed item property descriptions on crafted weapons that had bleed effects to say Sunder. I didn't actually know this was an issue, but another fix that was needed, I guess. They fixed the Shadow Strike ability being incompatible with the I Was Never Here and the Knife in the Shadows passive abilities. This is quite a good fix for those of you who like to play rogues. They fixed an issue where Deathroot appeared in the nursery. The corresponding collection entry has also been updated to reflect that Deathroot is not counted towards it, and Deathroot Seed should no longer be found in the world. And the last of the fixes is that they fixed an issue with Ice Dragon Bones and Veil Quartz, giving 0 armor rating when crafting shields with those materials. This should now be sorted out. And lastly, BioWare have stated that with this patch they've improved stability. So as you can see, there's been quite a few changes and fixes with this patch. It's quite an extensive one. I do apologise if I droned on through the fixes and that. Some of these bugs that have been fixed, I've never encountered or experienced myself, so I had no real opinion on them. I see that they've nerfed 2 of the multiplayer characters, which is a little bit of a shame, but the Arcane Warrior, for one, was a little bit overpowered when compared to the other classes in the multiplayer. How this will affect the multiplayer community, I don't know. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the patch? I'd love to hear what your opinion is, so leave a comment down below. I'll also leave a link in the description where you can go and check out BioWare's patch notes for patch 7 if you like. And until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you a patch information video for patch 7 on Dragon Age Inquisition. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.